Self-recharge, baby.
My time coming, know it is, cause I didn't pray for it. I'm in a suit day and night, yeah, I done slaved for it. I never knew that if I rap, I could get paid for it. State to state, different cities with the gang touring. He ain't a beast, if he played, I had the gang storm him. It's on the love, if you my brother, we got the same story. Yeah, what you know about a kick, though? You wasn't with me, I was running.
And we are live, beautiful people. What's happening? It's your boy Smith. You know, we hanging out the podcast, public comment. It's my show. It's how we rock. You know what I'm saying? If you've been following along and checking us out, you know, this summer I dedicated to Black women. This is our summer series, Black Women 2023. We just finished our first episode last week. Today, I have another wonderful guest, a young, beautiful, thriving, positive young Black woman. I'm gonna tell y'all, man, this is like my fly cousin for true transparency. So this conversation may go off the rails, but don't worry, we good, we totally cool. She's gonna be professional as much as she can be. Yeah. I'm gonna give you a little story about her to kind of set the screen or set the stage to how I knew. Like you know some things about people, right? Like even if you never met them, you kind of get a vibe. Well, I've been knowing her since birth, and yeah, I knew like this one particular incident. I was like, yeah, she about something. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get to that again. Thank you for joining Public Comment. Thank you. You know how to find me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. You know, just trying to provide some motivation, some positivity, right? Some education. You know, I purposely did this series this summer because of just the environment we're in, the work that I do, the lack of visual representation for our young Black women in every walk. You know, I mean, we have the 1 and 2s that they put up there and highlight and sensationalize. But what about the everyday Black woman that's out there, you know, being a career woman, being a mom, being a Black woman, dealing with all of these intersectionalities of their existence. And I thought, man, this is my time. I have the space, I have the platform, and I want to highlight these women. So without further ado, we're going to get to the show. I'm going to introduce you to my little cousin, Corina Stay Fly Cato. What's up, fam?
What's up, cousin?
Look, she's trying to be. Look, I know she's professional, and there's probably some people at her work like, okay, we about to see the real Rena. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. You know what I'm saying? How you doing today, babe?
I'm doing good.
Good. Okay, you look good. You look refreshed.
Right on.
Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. This is cool. Thank you for doing this. We need it.
Absolutely. We do. It's overdue, especially in light of kind of just where we are as a society. You know what I'm saying? And we have a lot of young women who just need some guidance. They need some representation. They need some visual, you know, some visual guidance. You know, everybody want to talk. You know, you see that. Everybody want to talk, but like being there and being present, you know, it sends a different kind of message. You know what I'm saying? All right. So we're gonna do this. I'm gonna read her bio. So I asked her, this is what Black people. Folks, welcome to my show. Welcome to my world. I tell people all the time, hey man, get a bio. So now, you know, in my cousin's defense, I did hear at the last minute, like, get a bio. And she was like, okay, you know, I don't really have them, but I got some. So I was like, okay, bet. You know what I'm saying? Black folks, before we go any further, get a bio, right? I don't care if you work at In-N-Out, write a bio. It is important. Like, people need to know what you do. If you flip burgers, man, you need to tell them you flip burgers. You the best burger flipper known to mankind west of the Mississippi. Anyway, I'm sidetracking. I'm digressing. Mrs. Cato, my fam. I call Arena Stay Fly. We can go way off subject, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But so Mrs. Cato has 17 years of experience empowering, that's a strong word, empowering communities with education and enrichment. She has unparalleled enthusiasm, and I really mean that. So that word, those two words don't go just cause. Those are heartfelt and they're meaningful. Unparalleled enthusiasm, serving the education community with powerful and pivotal skills in communication, organization, and leadership. Right? She's a definite asset to anybody's team. This is a great part right here. She has experience in accommodating Man, let that word sink in, young people. We got this whole thing. We don't want to accommodate. It's our way or the highway. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to accommodate the stakeholders to build dynamic professional communities. You know what I'm saying? Here's some highlights. I'm going. This is incredible. Hey, Cuzzo, you ain't 30, is you?
Man, I'm 36.
Okay, 36. You ain't 40.
No.
Okay, she ain't 40, but check out some of the highlights. Administrative experience supporting faculty, learners, human resources and higher education, managerial experience with nonprofit organizations serving the youth, years of experience in servant leadership in communities, credential teaching experience in Northern California and South Korea. Let me read that one more time, just in case y'all didn't hear it in the background. Credential teaching experience in Northern California and South Korea. She's global. Doctorate candidate in education. Come on, people. Cuzzo. Oh, is that fire? Do you like hearing that when they read that?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm proud of myself.
Say some, huh?
Yeah, it's just like, a lot of times, like if you're like in an interview, they'll ask you like, what about you stands out? What makes you a good fit? And it's just like, well, it's aligned with everything that I'm doing. The servant leadership is there. I don't say that just for show. Like you lead by serving.
Yeah.
No, I don't need to be like, oh, I'm just this leader. I'm the captain. I'm the coach. But no, like I will serve you. I serve my community. And that's how I lead. That's how I lead. So.
Man, that right there. Thank you, fam, for saying that. I think we're in a me time of stage where everybody wants it to be about them, and there's this thing, this. You work with young folks, like I want the bag and I want to be the boss, right?
Super instant.
Man, the boss means so much more than just being a boss in words. Right. Being a servant is being the best boss. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for joining me today, fam. That was a hell of a bio introduction. It really didn't even serve its purpose as far as I'm concerned. You are so much more than that. As a human being, as a wife, as a mom, as my little cousin. So I want to start with this first question, and if you could just take us back a little bit, and just kind of tell the people, growing up, like what were some of the lessons that you might have picked up from either directly with your parents or indirectly with other family members or friends in school, like how did you maneuver through there? Growing up can sometimes be tricky, especially for Black women. So kind of speak on that, like what was that process look like for you?
I think more so it was family just really emphasizing education. I can think of Uncle Sonny. He would always say, keep your eye on the prize. And like, I didn't know that was already said and on a poster somewhere on somebody's teacher. I didn't know that. I was just like, this guy's really clever. I like that. Keep your eye on the prize.
Like he made it up.
I thought he did. I was like, this dude is deep. Right. I really remember it. We were in Jane, your sister's living room, and he was like, "Keep your eye on the prize," with his raspy voice, and I totally remember that. It's just like you never know what somebody's really going to hold on to. Right. I was probably in the 3rd grade when he said that, but I mean, he would see me do my homework and I really cared about what I was doing. And he was like, you're working hard and you're smart. Keep your eye on the prize. So like that really stuck with me because things can come at you and it sounds okay. It's like, okay, we heard that. But that's just something that I've always held on to. And, my grandmother, your auntie, rest in peace. She would always say, you're really smart. You're really focused. And she would do this. You're going to make some money.
Oh yeah, that was her dad. She got me with that one. I won't tell that story, but she got me with that one.
And it's just like, you're feeding into, a young person. And I always appreciated that. I appreciated my family always just stepping in whenever they could. Like if you want to pop up at one of my basketball games, you did. And that meant a lot to me, just like, okay, let me try to do what I can do. So that I was just motivating. I'm like at William Jessup, undergrad, and I'm broke as I don't know what, being a student athlete, and I'm
Right.
just
Right.
like, in the library trying to finish a paper, waiting on my friend to bring me some food because I don't have a meal card. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to finish my paper because it's free access to the computer.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a text from my cousin Smitty, and he's like, "Hey, Rita, you need something? I got $25. I can put it in your account." I'm like, "Bruh, yes."
What? Say that. That 25 came in handy, huh?
It did.
Man.
It did. Like, people don't understand the struggle. So just my family just
Right.
putting in the nuggets, making themselves available to me, showing up, random text, "Hey, let me put some money in your account. Karina, let me give you the key to my house if you need like a couch." I
Right.
was a
Right.
couch surfer.
Right. Right. Professional
I
surfer.
was a professional couch
Yeah.
surfer.
Yeah.
I was. I
Yeah.
had 5 jobs. I was in my master's program, and I had like maybe 4 keys on my key ring.
Man.
But
Man.
I felt like everyone knew, like, Karina's trying to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she
Mm-hmm.
really is trying to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was. I finished my master's in secondary education, and I knew before I wanted to be in a classroom, let me go teach abroad. So
Yeah.
I was able to do that. And when I came back in 2025, got married, and
Hey now. Hey now. Hey
yeah,
now. So let me circle back to that because you brushed over it, and I don't. We have a large demographic of young ladies who are pursuing athletics as a means to finance college.
yes,
You was pretty good. You was a standout basketball player with the left hand little jumper. Yeah, we know. Um, and I'm sure you had aspirations of getting that D1 full ride scholarship, right?
mhm,
So, speaking you because you just touched on, hey man, I'm a professional surfer of couches to make sure that I get the education. Talk about that. Talk about that had to be somewhat humbling. Like, man, I know I can play, but I don't get this D1 scholarship.
right.
What conversation did you have with you yourself? Like, okay, I didn't get my D1 scholarship,
Mhm.
full ride to go and pursue my educational or my career endeavors. How did that transpire? Like, what did that look like? What kind of conversations did you have to have with yourself?
I mean, I loved basketball. I love basketball. I tell people all the time, basketball saved my life. I don't know what I would have been doing if I didn't play, because it just provided so much structure, and just like it took
Mm-hmm.
up a lot of my time and really helped me have the relationships that I have now, opportunities that I was able to have, places I went probably wouldn't have happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm super indebted to it. And just again, like, there's a village that comes with playing basketball and playing a team sport, and then you appreciate someone stepping in and coaching you or helping you, cheering you on or whatever, and so you just want to get back to that. So like with basketball, I enjoyed it, but then like I think like my parents, they split, I think like in elementary, and so I just put all my time into basketball, had a chip on my shoulder. And so like if anyone remembers how I played, I was super physical, I was super aggressive, and I liked that part. I love defense. That was like my favorite part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like, yeah, I'm not scoring 30 points, but I'm shutting down their ball handler. So you
Say
got
that.
to keep me in the game.
Say that exactly. Young hoopers. Defense will keep you on the court.
Like I'll get my fast breaks, I'll get my little points here and there, but I was really about just like I could go 40 minutes full court. I'm
I
not
heard that.
tired. Who else is going to do this? Like, because I was
Right.
doing stuff nobody really wanted to do. I was sacrificing my body, doing
Mm-hmm.
charges, diving for loose balls. Like, I was super hungry, and there was a sense of urgency because I really did want to play, D1.
Right.
It's super intimidating, when you're coming from a single parent household. Mom's just doing what she can. She's busy.
Mm-hmm.
She's working. She's doing her thing. I get it. But, there's a lot that goes into playing organized sports, especially now. Like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
it's different.
Yeah, the whole NIL and took the whole
It's
sports world
different.
totally and took it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, how with that, what how did you choose junior college to get to where you want to go? A
For
lot
sure.
of kids, with aspirations, oh, I'm not going to junior college. And then once they get that mindset, it's like then they cancel everything out and they just shut off their possible opportunities. So how did you decompartmentalize that one?
Just knowing really little about it, I was in that category. I'm not going to a JC. That was my mindset, and I was working hard not to go to a JC. I was at Armio High School, class of '05. During my time there, I was playing basketball, I was doing track, cross country. I was student body president, junior class president, Spanish club president, homecoming queen. Like I was like, I'm trying to do whatever I can to get out of here. Like I want to
Filling that resume out.
Man, already I was really
Mhm.
trying to, taking IB courses, AP courses, honors, like whatever I could do. This is just what I'm trying to do. I applied to some schools. I got accepted to a few. My first choice was Azusa Pacific in Southern California. Wanted to go, no money.
Right.
Not well versed in financial aid. I don't know what I need to do. There's no prep for that, and again, the chip on my shoulder, it's like, what y'all thought I was doing? I've been working
Right.
so hard this time and there's no money. What? It
Mhm.
was super hurtful. But
Yeah.
you could just sit there in your feelings and be mad, like, well, this person has this set up for them. Why not me? And mad about who's doing what and who's not doing what. You could do that all day, but there's still stuff that you need to take care of. There's still a goal. And I was recruited by Solano Community College. They would come to our games, wanted a handful of us, and we did really well in our varsity years. We were in playoffs. I was injured. I broke my hand. And I still played.
Say that.
Say that. Still played, scored 17 points with a broke hand.
Hey now. That's my little cousin.
I sacrificed my body. I just didn't care, and back then you think it's cool to play through it.
Absolutely.
You think,
look at me.
I'm like, nah, I'm good.
So, there's so much to unpack there, and I don't want to get us sidetracked from what we're talking about, but because of what you do now and the capacity that you serve people, I think it's a good kind of like transition segue to get us into how you got into, Solano, and then you went to William Jefferson, you graduated, right?
Yeah.
In that process, one, I got to ask this question to get us there. Because you talked about the lack of knowledge when it comes to the financial aid part, right? Never talked about in high school, not by coaches, maybe, I don't know, definitely probably not by counselors, right? So that's one aspect. But then you say, oh, okay, I want to make this as my profession. Talk about how you came to that conclusion. Like, I really want to do this, right? What it was going to take, and then the financial aspect of that.
Like, I think at first, graduating from high school, I thought I wanted to be a doctor in dentistry. That's what I thought. My mom was in dentistry for 14 years, I think, for a cool minute. And so I was like, okay, I like the doctor that she works for. Like, he's cool. I've been to his house.
Right.
I can do that. Right. He has a boat. He catches salmon. He gives it to us. I was like, I can do that. That was my thought. Like, I want to be
how the young mind works, baby. How the young mind works, man.
That's why I wanted to be a dentist. I swear. I was like, wow. I his house. It's nice. Like,
wow.
And so that's what I wanted to do. But then you do talk to the counselors when you get, enrolled, and they show you all the courses that's required and all of that. And I realized I'm not even interested in that. I wasn't interested in that at all, but I was always in honors English. I was always in AP English. So I was like, I enjoy English. I enjoy poetry. I like writing poetry. And so I knew I wanted to be like an English professor. And so that's kind of where my thought was. And so that's pretty much what happened there.
Okay. Now, because of the financial component, and I keep going back to that because it's so super important, especially for our community. We're talking about a young lady who has a master's. That didn't come free.
No.
So the financial component, I mean, how did you educate yourself on getting grants, getting loans, getting into these internships or what have you? how do you turn that into a lesson to young people?
You know what? And it's so crazy because I wasn't, there's the AVID program,
Mm-hmm.
and I was a part of the AVID program. It's like, okay, you guys, your assignment is to look up 10 scholarships. And it's like, okay, but we're just doing it to turn it because it's an assignment, but you still don't really know. I really think it needs to be like in-house. It needs to be your parent. It needs to be your older sibling. It needs to be someone close to you to where it's really going to sink in and you're not going through the motions talking about it. You're really like, okay, let's put in some time to apply for these scholarships.
Right,
Let's
right.
do the work. Let's do what we got to do. There wasn't no carved out plan. There wasn't anything like that. I totally remember, and don't get me wrong, I had probably my best experience was at Solano Community College. It's really a great place to be. It's a diverse campus. You have folks who are really passionate about what they do, and they really want to support you in your endeavors while you are there. I earned my liberal arts
Okay.
associates there.
Mm-hmm.
We were undefeated Bay Valley Conference
Say
champ
that. Say that. Say
as a
that.
player and as an assistant coach.
Okay. Assistant coach.
Had to put that in there.
We didn't
So
put that on achievements.
I love it. I love Solano. I love the
Mm-hmm.
staff. I love everyone there. But I say that because the very first day I was there, I cried. My first day at Solano, I cried, and I seen folks from like Armio, and they were looking at me like, "What are you doing here?" Like they really said no. Somebody said that to me, and then
Right.
another cat was like, Corina, you did all that shit in high school, and you're here with me.
Right.
And
Hey, and I graduated with a 2.2.
and then like he was laughing, and I was just like, oh God. And so I'm like, okay, I gotta figure this out. Like it was a rude awakening,
Right.
conversations with yourself.
Right.
That was happening. So I had to figure it out. And I was hiding away from like Coach Matt because like he thought I was going to Azusa. I told him, yeah, I'm gonna go to Azusa. I got accepted. But no, thank you. And then it so happens like I'm just like ducking now, kind of staying away from the gym.
Oh man.
Like, one day I get hit upside my head. And I turn around and it's Coach Matt. I'm like, hey, Coach Matt, here you got a good team this year. And he's just looking at me, sizing me like, yeah, you should be on it. And I was like, all right, I got you next year, Coach. I got you. And so, I was there for 2 more years.
Okay.
And then I played for him. And I was playing with a sense of urgency because it was real. Like being at a junior college, just working at the mall. And that's really all that I had. I was like, I am going to get a scholarship because of me. It's going to be my brain and my athletic ability to pay for school. So I was able to get a package from William Jessup because I was on the dean's list at Solano. And so I was able to get some academic money, and then I got some athletic money. And so I just like stayed the course. It was super hard. Oh God, it was like I would wake up at probably like 4 a.m. I would run over to the YMCA in Sassoon, put up however many shots for like an hour and a half, run back home, take a shower, get to Solano, go to class. And then it's like, gosh, what was the schedule? I think you would have to like watch film, weights, do the track, then practice and then do it all over again. Like that was crazy. But I was just like, this is what it is. I need to go to a 4-year. I need to pay for the 4 year. Nobody has any, oh, here, Corina, here's some racks for you. Like that wasn't it.
Yeah.
So
and so it sounds to me, and I know you, but I'm just talking as an objective, participant here. It sounds like, the lessons learned growing up, maybe some, some nuggets you might have picked up along the way. Then maybe a little bit of bringing you back down to humbleism with some humbleism, some pride pie, right? With the whole basketball thing, kind of introduce you to a different, there's a saying of necessity breeds ingenuity, right?
Yes.
When you need something, you're gonna start putting a plan together that gets there. Probably start thinking outside the box. So now you done had that tenacity, like, oh, okay, this is, basketball's not it, but it was my stepping stool
Right.
to get me here. Right now, the position you're in now, right? I'm sure you take some of those life lessons and instill them here. So one, I would like to just ask you to tell the folks, like, what's your position, if you don't mind sharing.
Yeah.
You don't really have to say the place if you don't want to, but you're more than free. Kind of say, what it is you do, and then name off like maybe one challenge and then one victory that you've had in this capacity.
In my current role now?
Yes, ma'am.
Dang, that's a really good question.
Oh, come on, fam. You know me. I don't do this for play. I'm gonna challenge you.
Okay, so right now I am working from home. I have to like do the whole scope of things here because we've just had a pandemic. During the pandemic, I got pregnant, right? And so it's all this different stuff going on. So before this current role, I was supporting the associate dean at UOP for the dentistry school in San Francisco, and we were working remotely. And
University of Pacific people.
yes, great, probably one of the best dentistry schools in the world.
Is that the Tigers? UOP Tigers?
Yeah, yeah,
I
Tigers. The
just
law.
want to make sure I shout out, the colleges. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, it's a great place. Great place. The law school's in Sacramento. The main campus is in Stockton, and the dentistry school is in San Francisco. They have a clinic downstairs. They serve the community with little to no cost dental care for for homeless folks, for low income families. They're teaching the learners how to be dentists, and so all of these beautiful things are happening in San Francisco. So it's like, yeah, I'm not a faculty here, but I'm still serving because I'm onboarding faculty. That was like I was taking care of the faculty for the associate dean. She was second in command, and so I was just by default always busy. And so I'm making sure quality faculty are there. They're taken care of. They're getting promoted. They're getting their tenure. They're retired. Like I'm overseeing all these different complex processes. And so with that, I have my son. I was on maternity leave. I was able to have like maternity leave for like 4 months. And then I kind of furloughed and like worked 4 days remotely and then just be off like on a Friday. And so I did that until all my time was used up. And then when I come back, they're like, so when do you want to start coming into the office? And I'm like, yeah, I'm a different Corina now.
Okay. You evolved.
Now, and so it's just like, when me and my husband, we bought this house in the East Bay and we work in San Francisco, it's like, we kind of have that grinders mentality, the hustle and bustle of it all. We're getting up early, coming in late, whatever it is with our schedules, we're doing this commute, we're making it happen. It's just us, no problem. And we had the energy at the time.
Right.
So you're talking about me coming into the office and I have to leave here by like 4:50 a.m. And to talk about the women component, postpartum symptoms, they were severe.
Right.
They were severe. And we're talking working full time, being in a doctoral program, taking care of a newborn in the middle of a pandemic. I'm in the East Bay. My mom's in Sacramento, it was a lot. So I was like on the job hunt, kind of trickled to this position that I have now as a registrar. And so my position in the institute that I work for, it's DTUI, Diversity Training University International, and they are in competition with like your Cornell University.
Right.
And, they give certifications for diversity professionals. So it's like a CDP certification, CDT, you'll see that behind somebody's name. And so they went through some training, some courses, and then they got their certificate. And, right now it's like, oh, it's cool to like Black people. And we need to we have those practices in place. We're not a racist organization.
It's cool to say we like Black people. I'm going to leave it at that. It's cool to say we
right. And so it's like, hey, I have this certificate to prove it. Or we have this
Yeah.
We enrolled them. We worked with Corina. She
And
enrolled us.
she's black.
Right. So great, well-known banks, well-known universities, certain cities and counties. Um, they'll come and enroll with us, and I just make sure that they're in the courses that they need to be in. I give them their certificate when they, completed all the work. I have to monitor the graduate part because you have to keep your credentials current. You still have to do work in diversity, equity, inclusion.
You just can't say I like black people and walk away is what you're saying.
No, you need to document, like, okay, what did you do? What's the work that you've done? You can't just have this acronym. It continues. Like, well, I went through the training once. It's like having CPR once and then never
Right.
doing your CPR.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to do that again.
Okay.
So those are like things that I do right now, working remotely. But
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That just does so much more for me now. Like you're not getting the stamp of approval that you like black people until my cousin gives you the stamp of approval. That's how much power my family got, fool. We don't say you like black people until Corina hits you with the stamp.
My name is on the certificate. So
I thought I was playing. Oh man, y'all thought I was playing, man. My family is the gatekeeper to diversity and inclusion, boy. Hey, I didn't know that. So talk about some of the challenges and some victories.
The victory, I will say, is we just got our accreditation.
Okay.
Because when I onboarded, we were not accredited.
That's major.
Yeah, and so if you're competing with Cornell, and that's it's Cornell.
Right. Exactly, it's Cornell.
It's kind of hard, to compete with that. But there's
so much for affirmative action, anyway.
Yeah, go ahead. Man. Yeah. But they're charging. This is just rough numbers. They're charging like $5,000 for enrollment. We're charging like $2,500. It's like, oh well, you're not accredited, but I'm gonna roll with y'all.
Absolutely, absolutely,
but,
absolutely.
So the big accomplishment was getting through the accreditation process. Just going through all the databases that we have, because you have to demonstrate that you're complying with the standards of the review or whatever company you go through. And so that was a lot of work, a lot of reporting, a lot of organization. Just that was really cool. And so that happened around the holidays. And so, we kind of increased our prices now.
That's part of the territory. That's part of the game. That's all. That is I'm glad you was a part of that. I think it says a lot. And I know I was laughing and joking when I said, you got the stamp of approval for people, but for the most part, it's true. And that's credit to you for putting yourself in a position, to be there. And again, I think your story speaks on so many different levels of the challenges to overcome, the tenacity you have, the perseverance you have to have, right? And then when you get into these roles, right? Now I'm in this capacity and I'm doing this and they expect this from me. And I think that leads me into, my follow-up question, well, different question, but kind of a follow-up on that is, just talk about the responsibilities of the career and then trying to balance that with being a mom. And then I got a follow-up question to that one too, but just if you could just talk about that challenge.
I mean, that is the challenge. The challenge is working remotely. At first, this is a dream. This is great. I've been working remotely since March 2020.
Okay.
So I loved it. I'm working on my laptop, got a face mask on, and
life is good, baby. Life is good.
Taking laundry, just doing what I can, meal prepping. But now it's like, okay, you have the dog barking, you have the baby crying, you have your husband trying to find his work pants, all this chaos, and it's like, hey, I'm trying to manage this data.
Right.
be quiet.
Right.
Like,
Right.
and I don't get to interact with folks, and it's you don't serve folks and you don't lead folks and get into these types of arenas and not like people. I love
Right.
people,
Right.
and I'm not around them. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really, really challenging for me. And so, but for whatever reason, I'm still able to make these impactful connections with
Mm-hmm.
learners. You know, they know me. They'll come, Corina, I need to talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
They could be in North Carolina, they could be wherever, you know. We have learners in India, you know, so
Okay.
it's online. So that they'll call and they know, you know, I'm their point of contact and I'm gonna, you know, direct them and support them with whatever they got going on. But and I appreciate that, but I miss being around people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the hard part with admin work. Because
Right.
and this is my recent years, probably since 2017, 2018, I've really just been doing admin.
Mm-hmm.
My background is teaching,
Yeah.
coaching, managing nonprofits, talking with parents, working with kids, you know, like I like being on the front lines, doing all this stuff. And so the challenge for me is just like feeling fulfilled.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just in front of a screen. All,
Right.
all day.
Uh, so and talk about, you know, being a mom, you know, trying to take care of a young child, working remotely at the same time.
It's super challenging. It's really because you have to take care of yourself, but it's just like, okay, when do I do that? You know,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're nursing. I was nursing, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like I had to make sure he had what he needed. I have a son. His name's Matthew. For those who do
Shout
not,
out, little Matthew. What's up, dog?
yeah, he's sleeping. He's doing good. So
Right. Enjoy that time.
right, and so for the most part, the challenge has been, you know, not having a village near to kind of help. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of like coordinating with
Mm-hmm.
a nanny, you know, hey mom, can you come down for a little bit? Or his mom is down the street. And so whenever she has time, that's helpful. His mom, my husband's mom, my mother-in-law, she's down the street. His
His mama.
all right.
His mama.
So, but then comes, you know, still making sure he has what he needs because it's like he needs to be around kids.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these pandemic babies, they different.
Oh, don't talk to me. Don't
Different.
talk to me.
I know
I,
you know. With
I
grand,
got the king. I got the king of the pandemic baby living with me. I'm
they're
telling you.
different, and so he needs to be socialized. You
Right.
know, he
Right.
needs to be talking more. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
these things need to happen. But if he's not around other kids, where are
Mm-hmm.
those opportunities to be stimulated? Like we're adults. You know, I'm
Right.
playful, I'm nurturing, I'm all of that, but he needs to be around kids.
Gotta
And
learn it.
so, yeah, this month he's gonna start going to daycare. He did go to
Mm-hmm.
academy. He
Mm-hmm.
did do academy last summer, but it was the academy was like curriculum, like it was like a prep. What it's just
Right.
like,
Right.
bro, they're like 1 and 2,
Yeah. Yeah. What you gonna do? What you gonna prep for?
like
You know.
a real tuition, everything, and it's just like
Ooh.
he has a runny nose. He can't be here. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, he has a runny nose because he's coming here getting sick with these
See.
other sick kids. But okay. So he comes and then we're all sick for like a month, you know, because you get sick twice. You get
Mm-hmm.
over it, but somebody's not done. And so you get sick again. And so
Oh, mom life. Mom life.
the house is down for a
Yeah.
month.
Yeah. And y'all just passing it from one another, just back and forth, just back and forth. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the typical mom life.
Yeah. That's
You
hard.
know, well, before I get to my last question, I just want to say, you know, I value you as a mom. I appreciate you as a mom, and what you do as a mom. You know, being the son of a mom, I know how difficult
Mhm.
we can be. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely appreciate what you do. As we finish up here, fam, I
Mhm.
just really want you to just spend, you know, as much time as you need, take as much leeway as you want to just talk about being a black woman. Like what comes with that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, being a mom, yeah, sure you're a mom. Being a career woman, yeah, sure you're that. You know, being a student, yeah, sure you was that. But talk about being a black woman. Like that's the intersection of all of these. I just don't really, you know, you know our fam, you know, I know my mom and my aunties and my cousins and my sisters and my daughter and you know what I'm saying? Like, but talk about that. Like the empowerment of being a black woman to know, man, I could do whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't want to put words in your mouth. I just want you to talk on that.
Um, There's a lot of, for me, it's a lot of pride to be a Black woman, and also it's a lot of responsibility, because I knew my own Black history. I didn't necessarily need a month, but you just know where you come from. Your family teaches you well, and how to conduct yourself and things like that. And for me, I always feel like I have a responsibility, and I have no excuses. I have a responsibility and I have no excuse.
Who say that?
Because you got to think about everyone who's come before you and to create these opportunities. And that's kind of how I moved. Because I don't think there's been a time where I just went to school and that's it.
Right.
It was like I was doing something. Was I on the basketball team? Was I president of something? Was I on, what was I? I was on spelling team in middle school. I don't know why, but
who knows? I'm gonna get there before we leave. I'm telling the story, so go ahead, finish being a Black woman.
But yeah, I always just wanted to, whatever I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability and give my all, because I have to. I don't feel that it is. I just don't think it's okay to just be ordinary. I don't think that's okay. For me,
Bam.
I'm speaking of myself. For me, I think it's disrespectful to our ancestors just show up and go home. And that's it. You're not going to impact anything. You're not going to have a voice. You're not going to elevate something. You're not going to implement any type of change. It could be anything. I'm not telling you to be Michelle Obama.
Right.
Like that's why we're having this platform right now, because
absolutely.
I'm just I'm just Corina. But I do know I impact change. I do know I helped somebody with their jump shot and they were able to get their 4-year athletic scholarship. I do know I help folks write and now they feel comfortable, being published. I've helped a lot of people. I've taught a lot of young folks. I've had some great connections with parents who are interested in going back to school just because of talking with me. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I'm just saying,
toot it.
I can do something.
That's why I brought you on here. Damn it, toot it.
And everybody can do. It could be anything. If you are a barber, which I've seen, and I'm so grateful for the folks that I've seen who's like a barber, and let me open up my own shop. Okay, you do that. Then what? Okay, well, let me teach. Let me, have some type of scholarship. Let me, offer free haircuts for folks who can't afford it for first days. Like little things like that. You have gifts, you have information, you have abilities. Apply that. Put it back into your community because somebody did it for you. And I have to say that.
Whoo! What I took out of there is you said, this is, young ladies, when you listening, cuz fam, when you share this, when you share this, make sure you point out the last what my fam just said. I did this. That's confidence saying, I'm doing this for someone else. I'm giving you this. I did this. Take pride and take some accountability in what you leave behind for somebody to build your legacy on, young people. You know what I'm saying? Because tomorrow someone's going to talk about you. Someone's going to talk about you. What you want them to say. You know what I'm saying? So thank you so much, fam, for just pointing that out. And I respect you. And I'm so proud of you saying, I did this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so much more than Corina. It's so much more than Smith. It's like, we got so much to offer, but we just be so selfish sometimes because no one's instilled in us and talked to us like, bro, share your gift. Just like Uncle Sonny told you, you know what I'm saying? So, fam, thank you so much. Thank you for taking some time, spending your off time, your downtime, your nap time when you could be doing something else. But I want to share this story because it's so important. And I think it speaks so loudly and specifically to my little cousin, Corina. We used to have a house I grew up in, and in that house, we had this big old mirror on the wall. My mom put on the whole wall was a mirror. And Corina used to go into that mirror every time she come by the house. She go stand in front of that mirror, look at herself, dance, kiss herself in the mirror, sing, twirl around in her Sunday dress when they came home from church. And I used to be like, that's the one right there. She the different one. You know what I'm saying? But it speaks so loudly to who you are. Like, man, the confidence it takes to do that. and to know that I did that and I'm going to do that, and there's so much more out there for me, and I'm not going to bite my tongue. I'm not going to be ashamed to be Corina. You know, like you said, you was telling people, oh, I'm going to Azusa, but then you had to swallow some humble pride, and I was at Solano. I'm gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? And it all goes back to that. Like, you gotta have some inner tenacity, and you like, I got this. Now I'm Corina, bro. You don't know me. You know what I'm saying? So I had to tell that story because, you know, that's one thing I always knew, Corina, you know, you was a different person. And me, Corina, and our other little cousin, John, you know, it's three of us. And they're younger than me, but we the flyest three cousins known to mankind. You know what I'm saying? And Mrs. Cato, you know, I love you to death. Thank you so much for being a part of this and just sharing your insight and your knowledge and your journey, you know, because it needs to be shared. There's somebody out there just waiting to hear your story. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for this series. We needed this. It's
Absolutely.
needed. It's required. Thank you.
Absolutely. You're welcome. And then we're gonna have some more beautiful people coming on here too. Don't tune out yet, people. So that's the show today. Again, public comment, you know, our summer series, Black Women 2023, the fabulous and wonderful and always dancing and always smiling and always positive, Mrs. Corina Cato. I call her Rena Stayfly. But anyway, that's a different conversation. That's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you share it. You know where to find me. You know, tap in with my cousin. You know, she's doing some things out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to put her information out there, but she's out there. You know what I'm saying? Tap in with her. If you got a nonprofit that might want to do some work, if you got some young folks that just need some guidance, you know, tap in with her. I just got to read this one past part before I shut us down. You know, again, young ladies, young Black ladies, you know, I love you. You know, I see you. First graders, second graders, 10th graders, 9th graders, in school, private school, Catholic school, wherever you are, home study. This one, it was always stand out for me. Her achievements, credentialed teaching experience in Northern California and South Korea. This world is global. We are no longer a monolithic society where we just live where we are. You got to get out and experience the world and then the different cultures and see how they operate, see how they maneuver. It ain't gonna do nothing but make you better. Now, you ain't got to go to South Korea. You know what I'm saying? You can go to Africa, you can go to South America, you know what I'm saying? You can go to the Caribbean. Best believe there's some Black folks in the Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? Don't listen to what everybody tell you. You know what I'm saying? So get out there and get global. You know what I'm saying? That was my show. I am so proud to have my little cousin on today. I'm almost gonna start crying because I'm so proud of her. But beautiful people, that's the show. And you know how I get up out of here. Have a conversation with somebody that don't look like you. If you might learn something if you shut up and be quiet. All right, folks, till next time, Black people, you know I love you.